What is up, you guys? Tashana here. Today's video, I want to just walk you through how I edit my product photos. And I prefer to shoot in RAW instead of just JPEG. So if your camera has that option, I highly recommend. I was told to do that in school, so I will pass that information along to you. So I want to go ahead and edit this. So let me just walk you through what I do. So the first thing is I typically go and click in Light. And I'm using Lightroom, Adobe Lightroom CC, the latest version. So everything is zeroed out. And what I would like to do is just bring out certain features and make it look the best possible way that it will look, and just enhance it without altering it too much. So one thing that I could do is I could crop this out at the top. So to do that, I can click on this crop and just bring it in just like that. And that's it. And then hit enter. And we've cropped it just a tad bit more. So with the light open, I will go ahead and adjust the whites. So it's just a little dark and underexposed, but I will leave that exposure until later. So the whites already brighten things up a little bit. So I'll just adjust that a little. Right. And then highlights as well, I can play around with those. So I typically like to take things to the extreme. I'll bring it one way all the way and then the other way just to see the effect that it will have. So I'll just bring that up a tad, adjust my contrast. And you can see just by doing this, a lot of things are changing with the color itself compared to what it used to look like. So it does make a big difference. And then the exposure at this point really doesn't need much adjusting just because it does look pretty evenly exposed at this point compared to how it looked before. The shadows are pretty dark, so I can bring those down a little bit. Alright, so then going here, this kind of does the same thing. If I want like a nice little S-curve, so I can bring this up a tad. It's already pretty bright, so I don't need to adjust more. And I do like a little S. It doesn't have to be a big S, just a little up and then swooping down motion. So it is pretty bright up here, and to fix that, I can either bring down the exposure all the way or just bring down the whites. Let's go ahead and do that. Alright, so from here, let's go into, I go into detail, and I want to sharpen this up a little bit. So it's already good. It was shot in focus, which is always a plus. I'm just going to sharpen it up a little bit more so that you can kind of see very clearly. And then with the effects, if I want to bring out any of that texture from the paper here, I can increase it by using clarity. It kind of, you can see it's like beauty filter, and this is just giving it more texture, which the paper does have. So I do like that. Don't want to go overboard, but I am loving this so far. So let's continue with the color. So I just want to up the vibrance a tad bit. Just bring out some of the vibrancy. So again, you can always take it to the extremes, bring it down, there's none, all the way up way too much. So I can just adjust it a little bit. The paper itself is like a goldish, yellowish color, so I want to stick around there. And saturation is a lot like vibrance, but it's just popping those colors a little bit, and I don't want to go heavy on the saturation. The feel that I'm going for with my photos is very natural and light and airy and kind of dreamy, so I don't want to go overboard with any type of saturation. So I'll leave the tint and color temperature the way it is. It's fairly even with the color temperature. I really do like this one. I'm going to actually flag this. And I like to rate them so that when I do have a ton of images, I can go back and pick my top picks by going here in the filter and selecting this right here for my picks. So one thing I might do is up the saturation just a tad bit, and the vibrance Okay, so you can go back and look at the before, and here is the final image. And you can always go back and tweak anything, up the exposure if you want to, any other things that you'd like to do, but I am fairly happy with this. So that is my process of doing quick edits in Adobe Lightroom and editing my product photos. I hope you found this helpful. If you did, please give it a like, subscribe as well. If you wanted to check out what this product looks like in the store, I will leave a link right here. It's Cocoa and Seed, and I will see you in my next video. See you later. Bye.